We would say to a lot of people is, instead of spending a lot of time raising money to spend it, figure out how not to spend the money in the first place. It's part of the founding philosophy of what the Lucy Fund does, which is get a hold of the resource you need in the cheapest, most cost-effective way possible. So if that means that you need some legal advice, try to get the lawyer to take a share in the company. You know, if you need accounting advice, the same. If you need technical information, get someone like the Lucy Fund who's going to help you do the technology and kills two birds with one stone. What you'll find is your product will get to market faster, your revenue will start coming in faster, and you'll raise other money quicker because you're seen to be someone moving fast.
There's lots of factors that play. So if I was an entrepreneur, obviously I wouldn't want to give away all the equity. So the more I raise, the more I'm gonna give away, because the value of my startup is probably low. Unless you're in Silicon Valley, you may be at $4 million straight away, just with 3 slides. But you are likely to try to restrict the amount of equity you're going to give away in your first round, so that you have also more to give in the second one, and that you still end up with something decent during an exit. So that plays a role, obviously. So it's balancing. I try to raise as much as I can the first time, but I keep as much as equity as possible at the same time.
We like that startup companies raise money that will last them for 18 months without revenue. And the idea behind that is that without revenue, because revenue always takes longer than everyone expects, so let's not just bank on it. And 18 months because we feel that it gives the company 12 months to focus on the business, to deliver what they need to deliver, to actually go out and make sales and deliver proof points, and then 6 months to raise new funds. So even though we're involved in the company, we still think 6 months at the back end in order to go out and raise new funds, and hopefully a lot of funds at a higher valuation, is the right amount of time.
I would say 95% of startups I've met across the UK and Ireland have never considered going to a bank to ask them for finance. And we always say, why? A loan is better than an investor because you can just pay back the loan. And if you're worried and they're saying you have to personally guarantee the loan, use your R&D credits or some other credit that's going to come down the line to pay back that loan. In England you have things like EFG loans, where the government, you can pay a slightly higher interest rate and the government will guarantee 75% of the loan. There's plenty of options there, and most people have bank accounts but have never asked their bank manager for finance. Yet the bank manager is in the business of selling you finance. The odds are, if he can do it, or she, they're going to do it for you. So ask.
What I would recommend an entrepreneur to do is ask the seed investors whether they would be, all metrics having been set and reached, if they would be ready to participate in the follow-on round. And the advantage of that is that if your startup is successful very early, you're actually gonna burn more cash than you thought. It's like a fire, you have to throw more wood at it because the fire is going, it's nice, and you want it to keep going. So suddenly you find yourself in throwing more. If it's not doing as well, then there's a big question. Should we throw more money? Are we not underspending? Or should we slow down? The first reaction that you always hear of is we slow down, which often precipitate the death even. The reaction should be probably we need to throw a bit more, hire 2 more developers, or engage a much more famous PR agency that will basically open doors much quicker than we have so far.